Hey, how's it going, everybody? Weird days, weird times, solar winds, it's windy everywhere, it's bizarre. Trauma's been massively stirred up. This is your news update, your energetic news update. Ever since we hit the King of Clubs a few days ago, I'm just talking to so many people that it's like trauma here, trauma there, everywhere, trauma, trauma. Let's bring our trauma up and heal the trauma. And it's some really heavy, serious shit. And so the reason I kind of have this laughter in the back of my throat is I don't know, but I had this dream this morning that, oh, I won't go into it, but it appeared to everyone that I was laughing at trauma, and I wasn't. I was just like, I think we need to inject some lightheartedness into this because it's just all over the map. Everyone is like, not everyone, but a lot of people, getting out of narcissistic relationships and recognizing abuse for what it is, going through the crisis of reclaiming their reality. Well, today is a great day to claim your reality. But before we begin, I sound like a newscaster. I would like to share one of the most comforting little videos I've ever seen. It's on TikTok, and this guy goes by Rockstar, but where the O of Rockstar is, there's a little X, and where the A of star is a little X. So maybe you can find him, but he does voiceovers. Hey, Pete! I'm so glad you're here. I hope you got my email. Okay, watch this.
Parents be like, I put a roof over your... Hey.
Can you see it?
Hey. 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 Hey.
Yeah. We call that ooh hey. Oh, good, good. I'm glad you replied. Yes, totally. So, on my website, I advertise a price, a going price for my readings, and I recently just got really, really guided to do that, and it came through really clearly what it needed to be. And if you really want a reading and you can't pay that, hit me up. Like I'm totally negotiable. Like there are some serious needs out there, and it has to be fair, and I have to charge, and I have to be a little bit better about that. But yeah. So let's talk about the 10 of clubs, shall we? And Pete, just because you're here and I like you so much, go ahead and ask whatever the heck kind of question you want to and try to keep it a little bit within the bounds of what I'm talking about. Oh, that's so sweet of you to say, Pete. Okay, so, and after this video, I am going to make popcorn. I'm thinking about putting my pajamas back on. Maybe I'm going to watch Totoro. I don't know, but the inner child needs some love because it's been really freaking weird. So all these club energies, and clubs are about consciousness. So today is the 10 of clubs. So I'm just going to do a basic class on the 10 of clubs. 10 of clubs sits in the crown line, and I have named it the paradigm shifter. Here it sits. Why is it relevant for today for everyone to hear about this? Because you will be somewhat impacted by the energies of the fact that this is the 10 of clubs. I mean, when it was the Queen of Clubs day, trauma was coming up, and the Queen of Clubs hand is specifically designed to bring up trauma. So today's hand, what can we expect? And I do feel that Spirit seems to be up to something. So the gift from yesterday was be a little more lighthearted about it because it was a jack. And today the message is get a hold of your own reality, claim it, stick with it, trust your experience. The 10 of clubs is kind of an asshole with the knowledge thing, okay? They're just going to be. So you get to be kind of an asshole about what you know. Stick to your guns. You don't have to get nasty or fight or get ugly or whatever, but there was a moment today where holding on to my reality was about just being quiet and not engaging because it's like, this is not going to be productive, but I know my truth. And sometimes that's really, really hard. There's 100 different things trying to pull us off of our truth and our experience, the labels, the judging. And because the United States have 2 of clubs right now in Uranus, yeah, it got 2 of clubs in Uranus. That means that we're very aware of the conversation. There's always a conversation going on inside of us, and that's what I drill down on. It could help us just evaluate communication in general. That could be really up right now. But the deep kind of psychological thing is, how are we talking to ourselves? I do, because it's funny. So you know the Klingon joke? What does Star Trek Enterprise and toilet paper have in common? Okay, I'm not going to say it. This is YouTube. I just feel like I really shouldn't go there. They might give me a strike for just like being nasty. I don't know. They probably won't. But anyway, so the 10 of clubs is ruled by Mars. So there might be a little bit, oh, are you a Trekkie too? Uh-oh. Um, there may be a little bit of extra Mars energy today because the 10 of clubs is ruled by one planet, and that's Mars. So watch it on the aggression. But what's the positive thing about Mars? I would say if it dials down to one word, it's agency. I didn't understand that when somebody first dropped that word out there, but once I got a hold of it, I use it all the time when I'm talking about this. As opposed to being acted upon, you are the one that is acting. You're not the recipient of action, you are the maker of action. Having a sense of agency is, I am the decider. I get to decide what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it, how I'm going to feel about it. Another word would be volition, like volunteer, raising my hand. So volition. So recognizing that that is yours, you have a choice. Okay, so what can we say about 10 of clubs people? They generally come from, I say this about almost every card, really dysfunctional families. No, seriously, the particular kind of dysfunction with the 10 of clubs is that they are the only functional one in a very dysfunctional family. There's like alcoholism or mental illness or, just deprivation, something really difficult, and everything sort of seems to be on their shoulders. So they bring that dysfunction out into the world, and they don't know how to delegate and ask for help and expect help and receive help. So, anything that I'm saying, it might show up today, it might not. This isn't my, card analysis like textbook. This is my 30 years experience studying people who are various cards. And there are a lot of 10 of clubs, so there's a lot of opportunity to analyze them. And for the women in particular, it is just so hard to be the 10 of clubs because you are experienced as a guy. You're experienced as having a lot of power. You feel masculine to the people around you, and that can set off the men and it can set off the women. So there's another reason why they end up feeling kind of alone. But the 10 of clubs does vibrate to the number 1, the 1 and the 0. So that 0 means you've been around the block and you have some knowledge and wisdom to drop. But that 1 means I'm kind of alone. It is kind of up to me. I'm a pioneer, a risk taker. I have to find my own way. So they develop kind of a hard, and if this isn't true of you, my guess is that either you're younger, because the younger you are, the less severe the lessons seem to be, is my general observation. And if you're a 10 of clubs man, that whole power thing works. It works. Men are expected to like step in, be powerful, take control. So if you're a 10 of clubs male, it may be a little more challenging to develop your feminine side because people are expecting you to be, So anyway, so they're in the crown line, which means they're going to be visible They're going to be known by a lot of people. They're going to have a feeling of, there's a lot that I'm responsible for, and people tend to chunk responsibility onto them, and they tend to just like it. It's because the responsibility card sits in Venus, Mercury, Venus. The Mercury is the voice, it's the style, it's what you sound like and how you come off to others. It's kind of like an ascending, your ascendant. And so the Eight of Diamonds, it is a powerful card that has to be reckoned with. They walk in a room and their energy is felt. And 8 is someone to be reckoned with. I've nicknamed that the asshole card officially. So there's that whole power thing that has to be dealt with. And they have a template. The 8 of Diamonds have a template of like divine perfection. And when they are not in ego, they are the advocate for the truth. When they are in the ego, they just want to control everything, because that's their fallback. When they're afraid, they want to control. That's kind of a formula for ego. When I'm in fear, what do? Do I fold? Do I control? Do I achieve more? Whatever it is kind of indicative of your type. So the 8 goes to control. So that's kind of a voice that they have, but it's also the gift of leadership. It's like, would somebody please take charge of this room? Sometimes that we're just like, thank God someone stepped up and just like took charge. Oh, and your girlfriend is the 8 of Diamonds. So you're probably recognizing some of this. So, and then with that King of Spades in Venus, that is the feminine archetype. So it's the big mama who's going to step in and take control of everything and manage and love and feed and direct. And, it's a big energy. And that's a very masculine card ruled by Saturn. So it's got kind of a heavy hand. Okay, so what if we go, okay, wait, I'm just going to take you down here for a second to sort of explain. She always takes charge, but I try as well, but we butt heads like bulls quite often. Well, that's because you got that 8 of clubs you're dealing with too. It's like, what power, right? Because she has more of a need to be in control than you do. You have less of an egoic need. As a 6, your need is to compromise, make sure everyone gets along, see both sides. And then you're really this, and then you're really that. The 6 is like this boat that keeps going like this. Oh, I'm going to be lazy. Oh, I need to take more responsibility and get some work done. Oh, I need to comply and follow the rules. Oh, I need to be a rebel. That's just the story of the 6. It's tricky. Everybody's tricky. Yeah. See, because she can't afford to be lazy. And if she can find the capacity to be lazy, and your laziness won't trigger her, you're each a poster child for the other person's missing pieces or repressed pieces or parts that we're afraid to exhibit. Like if one partner gets angry, chances are the other person feel like they don't. Well, that's a very good question. Yeah, if one person gets angry and the other one, it's because the other one feels like they're not allowed to or can't afford to get angry. So why can't she afford to be lazy? Well, everything's going to fall apart because it's all up to her. That's the illusion, because that's when you're in the crown line, it's all up to you. And it's not really, but you manifest situations where that's true so that you can fall back on it and say, see what happened? Because you didn't listen to me. So they're like reinforcing that illusion that it's all up to me. And yeah. So they get in marriages where it is all up to them, where someone's under functioning and then they're over functioning. I'm not saying that's true of you guys, but it's a common thing that, like, if I leave something on a table, she'll be like, why is this here? like I didn't decide that was going to be there, so it shouldn't be there. Oh my God. Sometimes I'm like that too. I'm a 7 of diamonds, which means I do have an 8 of diamonds in there. And that's, you guys, that's why I'm so hard on the 8 of diamonds, is because I've got one in there. Yeah, and when I'm not comfortable and at peace and feeling all loved and fuzzed up inside about myself, then it comes out as control, and my husband is the one that needs to be controlled. And today he's like, "Would you stop parenting me?" And I'm like, "Well, if I don't point out the pedestrians, you might hit them. Like that might happen. It's a thing." Oh my god, yes it happened. It did happen today. Oh, now I'm all red. Okay. So, moving on about the 10 of clubs. When they go okay, so the rest of their descending hand goes down into the Mercury line, and when I started to see them, thank you, that's very kind of you to say, Pete, right? I agree, and we need strong men too. We need vulnerable women and we need vulnerable men, and we both have a masculine and feminine side inside, so anyway, I was asking myself the question, why are highly functioning 10 of clubs out there in the world and the men, both sexes, I would say primarily the men, this is more true, that I would be like, why are they so emotionally immature? There are two reasons for this 10 of clubs men. Why are they so, like, they have good intentions in relationships, but they don't, sometimes it's like they just can't figure it out. Like, why did that hurt her feelings? And it's like, dude, but it's because these are all hearts under here. And so the rest of their hand starts over in the heart line, which is like beginners in the realm of emotional development. So they get put in these situations like Nelson Mandela, his home life was really difficult and it was hard, and I'm sure it's because he just wasn't the nicest person at home. He didn't know how to be. Like they know how to be these big old paradigm shifters out in the world, but then the rest of their lives is what other people, the Mandela effect. No, why did you throw that in there? I'm talking about the actual Nelson Mandela. He was the 10 of clubs. So he's a really good touch point to go, oh, what are they like? But yeah, that's totally real. And if you want to talk about Mandela effect, we can totally go there. Because like I thought it even happened to me this morning. I was like, did you move those plants? Because I didn't move those plants. Anyway, are we on another timeline? I do. I know a lot about it. Look, I am your father. Yeah. And Berenstain, you ask anyone of our generation, they're like, how do you print? They're like, I just don't know how to pronounce it. Steen, Stain. That's because the spelling was weird. But now it's Stain. Nobody would get confused with Stain, Berenstain. So I think it is that timelines are merging, and like you come from this timeline where this is what happened with the Challenger. They're all very close together, very similar in the reality, but like in my reality, I remember Billy Graham's funeral. No. Yes, I remember Billy Graham's funeral, and then suddenly he wasn't dead. Same with Nelson Mandela and like the Challenger. I'm pretty sure that it was green outside in my timeline when that happened, but now it happened in January when you look at Wikipedia. Yeah, cut out the F in Ford. Yeah, the cut in the F. Totally. And like these are little details that just alert us to this. But this is, oh my God, you know why this came up? This is really relevant to the 10 of clubs conversation, because if you're going to hold on to your own reality, that's the only way that we become aware of the Mandela effect, is because people are like, I trust my memory. I know who I was with, what we were talking about, all the details. I know what I remember, and that's the only way we can prove it, is that the rest of us have a shared reality. Otherwise, you feel like you're going crazy. There's a whole movie about this. And I started watching it last night. And I'm like, why am I watching this? I already know this is true. So just turned it off, went to sleep. Okay, so right. So it's like they're beginners with the emotional realm. And this isn't true of all 10 of clubs, but sometimes it's true, and that explains it. The other thing that might explain why the men 10 of clubs are super highly functional, but they're kind of immature, is that all club males identify with the jack of clubs. They identify with the jack more than the king because clubs represent adolescence. Jack of hearts are children, clubs are adolescents, diamonds are adults, and spades are the sage. And this is an age personality typing thing that happens. Okay. Oh, you watched it? Trippy. One, yes, exactly. Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, I know I lost a child in a past life, and it took a lot to get over it in this lifetime." So whenever I see movies where someone's dealing with the death of a child, I'm just like, "Can I deal with this one?" And sometimes I'm just like, "No, I can't go there." Okay, so if we take the 10 of clubs in the ascension hand, we go down before we go up. Okay, so this might be a little confusing, but the ascension hand of the 10 of clubs is that this 8 of diamonds is now a moon card, which gives you the power of the conviction of your value system. No, it's okay. I managed to get back on board. The conviction of one's own values. I know what's important to me. And when I'm identifying the ascension hand and I look at that moon card as, what if it's totally fluffed out and healthy? How is that your secret strength? I get this really beautiful energy of like, yeah, that's when you're totally inside yourself. You're trusting your subjective take on things. You've got your own back. Your own inner child feels safe because your adult is taking care of them and honoring them. That's what it feels like to have your moon card really settled in with the ascension hand. So the moon card for today would be, are you really situated with what's really, really important to you? Do you have this inner asshole who's just like, I'm not going to let anyone pull me off of what I know is important to me? Can you claim that strength and that power? And this is a kind of power that is secret. It's not visible to anyone else. You retain this. Well, my dog is dreaming and twitching his feet and doing his little sleeping barks. It's so cute. Okay, so then the Mercury card becomes the Queen of Hearts down here, and then the Ascension hand continues and then goes up a couple. So what would the Queen of Hearts as a Mercury card be? The Queen of Hearts would be, God, let me just tune into my guides a second and say, okay, I showed up. I'm doing the 10 of clubs. People who watch this afterwards, what do they need to hear? Okay, my guides are saying how they can overcome stuff in their lives. Okay, I would say that I just said the most important thing. Because 10 of clubs feel so pulled outside themselves to answer the many needs around them and be responsible and be functional, the best way to take care of yourself is to tune them out and say, what am I unwilling to compromise on for myself? Who's the most important person in my life? Me. And be unapologetic about that and say, what is really important to me and what am I unwilling to compromise on? That's the number one way that you overcome anything in your life, is that you get back inside yourself. And because you're ruled by Mars, there is like, what's my personal jihad? What is my mission? What is the military feeling about that card is passion and devotion. What am I really, really devoted to and passionate about? And that will keep redirecting you to overcome stuff. And I honestly think distraction is one of the biggest problems for the 10 of clubs, because distraction are those things out there that take you off an internally informed course of direction. I meant to go there, but oh, squirrel, So it's tuning always and always back into the self. Yeah. Okay. I'm psychically taking questions from my viewers in the future. Okay, now I'm hearing, what do you have to say about romance? 10 of clubs in the romance. Ooh, it's hard. It's a dicey area for the 10 of clubs, let me tell you. Because if they're wired to manage and take responsibility, what are they attracting? You know? Oh, it can be really hard. I would say the best romantic partner for a 10 of clubs would be somebody that has matching power, like another 8 somewhere in their hand, and also aces or 10s. 10s and aces tend to need to partner with each other because there is such a strong sense of individuality, and they need someone who understands that and can respect it. Okay, you need to go on a walkabout for 3 days. Go with my blessings. I get it. You were getting in my hair anyway. I want to make cookies without you. So when there's a mutual agreement that they just need their own space, it can make it a lot easier. Okay, let me psychically take some more questions. No, if you have a question or a comment, seriously, chime in. Um, right, so that's that matching power thing, Pete, with you being a 6, but you got an 8 right next to you. So you partnered with an 8 because there if there wasn't butting of heads, what would there be? There'd be a bulldozer, and that's not good. And both of you kind of like that. You kind of want that because maybe there's a self-development thing, maybe a development around power. What's the correct use of power here? You just got to always ask, where's the ego engaged versus the spirit or the soul or the heart? Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to say about the 10 of clubs at this point. And yeah, I'm going to watch Totoro because I want to. Oh, a comment. Okay. In the past week or so, I've been kind of bummed because of my YouTube views being super low, which impacts my income. Oh, you've got a channel? I didn't even know that. For goodness sake, I got to go subscribe to you. Oh, see, that's a yes sign. Angels are with you. They're hearing you. They're with you. I didn't know you had a channel. Tell us about it. Like, okay, let me just ask my guys. They're saying consulting with people in your inner circles is going to be really useful information for you right now. The peoples that are right around you and are tuned into you, your personality, your needs, your strengths and weaknesses. Your close friends have some good advice for you. Okay. Well, and that's fine. Your YouTube channel is really random. I love that. So it attracts random things. Okay, let me just ask. There's been a shift in the energies. It's spring. Spring makes people want to get out and go do stuff. And we basically have had an extended prison sentence for 2 years, and you know what I'm talking about. And with the weather just being very strange in a lot of places, I think it's from the solar flares. That's my best explanation because it's just like boom out of nowhere. It's not a gradual thing and it's not regional. It's kind of all over the map. And we know we've had some extraordinary solar activity recently. And I just think that really has an effect on people. So, what people do to relieve the stress is increasingly to go outside, which I highly recommend. I mean, when I see a really low view count on a Sunday, I'm like, good, people are outside. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're plugged into the mainstream media, which I am not at all, why trust a massive global corporate entity? Like they got a freaking agenda. I can guarantee it. All corporations' agenda is to continue to exist, but it's darker than that. It's darker than that. So, yeah, there's a lot of yes, there is that, and it feels like we're kind of waiting for something, doesn't it? It's like people are like, ooh, is something really, and it's like, what's the next thing to scare the public with to keep the vibration down so we stop expanding and waking up and, what are they going to scare us with next? So people are kind of worn out from that. But right now, the low view counts on YouTube videos, I think, is because there's just the energy is just like, I mean, my guides keep telling me, and it's like It is a joke. Yeah, it is. So it's like it's designed to bring you down, actually. Yeah, see, I don't think it is either. No, of course it isn't. Of course it isn't. And when you listen to people who actually are from there, there's a channel called Aussie, like from Australia, AUSSI, Aussie Cossack, Cossack. And there's another channel, Aussie Cossack's Wife, and it's the same guy. And he's actually from there, and he tells you what's actually going on over there. And there are a number of these sources, and you go, well, it's nothing like what the news is like. It's such mind control to get you to feel things, you know. So anyway, right, they're gonna fix it all. So I'm just gonna hold out. Guys, come on already. And yeah. Well, and there's that whole disclosure thing waiting to happen. You know, it's coming out like, you know, it's coming out from underneath the plate that's trying to push it down. You know, everyone's experiencing stuff. I was just thinking about this. Have you ever seen the Secret Soldier, or no, Super Soldier Talk? It's this channel dedicated to interviewing people, and also Journey to Truth does a lot of this. It's just dedicated to interviewing people who are getting their memories back after being in the 20 and back secret space program. And you'd think they'd have maybe 5 people show up per year. Well, they're interviewing people constantly. Like everyone's getting their memories back, and it's like, whoa, we need to integrate this as a planet. What the hell has been going on? So Corey Good was the first one where I learned about that. And yeah. So Super Soldier Talk. It's a trip. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, where were we? Still answering the question, the low view counts. Yeah, it's just things are just weird right now. And people need some healing, and they need to ground, they need to integrate, and going outside is the best. Okay, let's just throw a few cards. Let's throw a few cards and let's ask that question, Pete. What the heck is going on right now energetically that is affecting all of us? You are. And that, you know why? You know why? I can explain that to you regarding the card system. The card that sits under you is I think my dad is here. He told me to split the deck. Uh-huh. Okay. It's all going to be okay. It's all going to be okay, he says. Okay. Got to read that comment though. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I get a real sense of that too with you, Pete, that if you just hang in there and be patient, I think a lot of things are taking off for a lot of people this year for a lot of different reasons, but for you in particular, and before I knew anything about what you do, I just was getting that hit. Just keep doing your due, just be consistent, keep showing up like I am here. And it's, you know, we've got 2 viewers and me and hey, other person. And, you know, it's just the act of showing up and then the little things that show up along the way because of that. Yes, stay positive. Always just say, thank you, God. I am loved. I am accompanied. Your guides are with you, Pete. Whether you are spiritual or think you have help or not, you have help. We all have so much help. We're so beloved. And like, try opening up to that, to being like, okay, if I got guides or angels, or like, you know, my dad who passed away 30 years ago, you know, yeah, see? Exactly. Oh, me too. Me too. And then that vibration goes out into the collective, and it has a little impact on everybody. So you, as the 6 of diamonds, in the corresponding position is the 9 of clubs, and the 9 of clubs is open at the top. They maybe were raised in a restrictive, rigid environment, but they're like, I'm just open to everything. They're just, oh, there's such a blessing that way. My sister-in-law, 6 of diamonds, best friend in the whole world. So yeah, 9 of clubs. And clubs represent knowledge, and 9 represents infinity. Um, it's not settled and decided about one thing or the other. It's like, tell me more, tell me more. And they always want the whole story. They want a bigger picture. a larger context to understand things. So that's a big influence with you, and that's something that you teach other people everywhere you go. Oh, shit. Wow. Well, you give off such a wonderful energy that says, I'm okay with myself. I'm okay now. And yet you're still like really approachable. So, good on you. Everything we go through, I think, number one, our soul chose it. But number two, when you're just an inherently loving person like you are, you get the template of that stuff. You're like, hey, brother, I'm going to jump down in that hole there with you. And they're like, well, how much does that help? Because now there's two of us down here. And you go, well, yeah, but I used to be in that hole and I figured out how to get out. So I'm going to help you get out. And I think that's a really big principle. I bet you were because, yeah, yeah, because you were so cut off. But I bet you had to dig deeper for some coping mechanisms. It was hard, and that was a dark plot. Cut people off from each other. They know us better than we know ourselves. So anyway, so let me just say the Queen of Diamonds. Yeah, I bet you did. The Queen of Diamonds is the truth teller. So now we're answering the question, what are the larger influences? I don't have a big sun. Yeah, it sucked. I didn't like it either. My problem is that I got panic attacks when I put a mask on, so I couldn't wear one, which limited the places I could go to like 3 places in town for 2 years. And everywhere I went, I would have to face this. I have a really tender inner child, so it was like this constant fear of disapproval. And I could go in the library if I really put on my tough face and I was like, I have a condition, leave me alone. And sometimes people were okay with it, but mostly millennials who really got off on telling people to follow the rules. There was no bandwidth there, and they had to enforce the rules. And it was so, I was like, I can't deal with facing hostility every time I need to go into a public place. But it made me grow a backbone. It made me get tougher skin. It made me have to, I stopped at 3 different grocery stores one day because I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I was traumatized and I was sobbing and I was like, but I got over it and I got a lot stronger. And then I went to Florida just before I asked God to take me. I was like, I can't deal because they cut down this tree in our front yard. And I was like, that's the last straw. I need to go. So God actually did take me. I had a kind of a near death experience. I didn't almost die, but I did go to the other side for a while. And the next morning I was just like, God heard me. And then I went to Florida for 5 days and it saved me. Yeah, and that's we're gonna have to agree to disagree. There's never been a study that proved maybe a little, maybe they help a little, but yeah, I think they did a lot more harm than good. And there aren't sorry, I'm not gonna get into that with you. I could go and go on that, but I just don't want to. It's over, it's done. So the Queen of Diamonds is the truth teller. So there's some energy right now about coming out and telling the truth. And that's why people are having a lot of trauma memory coming up, a lot of clarity kind of hitting them. Oh, by the way, did you check out of Shadows? The website is called Out of Shadows Official, and you can watch the video for free. Um, and yeah, it's all about Holly Weird and this stunt man that I told you about. Okay, so we got this, and it is tough. It's in the Saturn line. It's tough. Okay, so the 6 of Hearts is we got 2 6s, and what they tell me when my dad came through, he was like, oh, that's interesting. Because my dad was the Ace of Diamonds, and this would have been his Mercury Moon card. Okay, he's smiling at me now. He's like, you're getting it. Know the truth. Know the truth. Yeah. He's saying, and thank you, Pete, for not getting triggered around that whole mask thing. I just get triggered the instant I come into disagreement with people because I'm scared that I won't be able to navigate it without getting upset or upsetting the other person. So thank you. That was helpful. Oh, look at that. That's great. All right. So my dad is saying the shift that's happening is people are knowing the truth. Know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So when he turned it around and this became his Ascension Moon card, in his back pocket was this, and this is true of all Ace of Diamonds. Can you know the truth? Can you tell yourself the difficult truths and know them and hold them within yourself? They're into a lot of illusion, delusion, self-aggrandizement potentially. And when they can know that truth, then they can be successful. It doesn't mean they have to confess to everybody, but they knowing the truth. So yeah, that's really powerful. And the other messages are, hey, it has to happen. This is karma. Things that need to happen, that are overdue, that are simply happening because it's time, are happening. So that's good to know. You don't flip out about the mask thing. Good. It's kind of like, can I just do me and you do you? If you feel that you need it, why can't that be enough? Why do you got to make me wear it? And if your vaccine is good for you and you feel that you need to get one, good. Why do I have to get one? Yeah. I don't want to get one because it's putting something in my body that may change it forever, and I'm just not willing to take that risk. I think my immune system already, I'm fine. I trust it. Okay? So that there's an irrationality about that whole movement, that pressure. There's something about the pressure that feels off to me. Okay, so the 3 of Hearts is the bottom of the deck, the environment card. So this is, can't we all just get along? Okay, what movie is that from? And if you know, post a line, post another line from that same movie. Why can't we all just get along? Okay, think of the line. If you don't know, I'll say another line from that movie. Just that 8-second delay. Oh, you're not sure. Okay. Well, another line from the movie isn't popping up. That's the most famous line from it. But in the end, they were able to kill the aliens by playing ooh, do 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 do, and they realized that if they put that and blared it out, that the Martians' heads would burst. It was Mars Attacks. No, but no, it was Mars Attacks. Okay, Pete, I'm gonna go make popcorn, and hello to whoever's watching. Maybe it's a YouTube person. Mars Attacks is one of the most classic movies of all time. I think it was one of Jack Black's first movies, and it's this all-star cast. It's just funny any way you slice it. One last card, and you're welcome. 9 of Hearts. This is love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself, because only you can do the kind of loving that really, really needs to be done. Blessings. You enjoy your day too. Bye.